Social Pulse Weekly, brought to you by Agorapulse. Discussing this week's hottest topics and latest developments in social media marketing. With your host, Jennifer Watson. Here's Social Pulse Weekly.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday, and thank you so much for joining us for Social Pulse Weekly. Can you believe it is January 29th? I actually had to rethink about what the date actually was. Next week is February. We're already 1 month into the new year. So how are you doing? Hopefully everyone's doing great. And for those of you that are watching us, let us know who you are, where you're watching us from, and something exciting that you accomplished this week, or something that you're looking forward to next week, or maybe you're just excited to be here. Share with us. This is a great, fun community where you can ask questions. And as always, you know, our live show is a two-way conversation. So you're not just like a fly on the wall while, you know, you watch us ask questions and talk. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions. So definitely let us know who you are, where you're watching us from, all that good stuff. We've got Mike Alton in the house. We got Eric Fisher, Deb, a whole bunch of other people. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited. And I have to give a quick shout out to someone extra special, our show sponsor, Ms. Jen Cole. She is absolutely amazing and awesome. If you don't know her, you need to. She is relationship marketing account manager at Now Marketing Group and is the owner of Xstand, a bamboo portable standing desk brand. So if you have not followed her, don't know who she is, you definitely need to do that. And I'm actually looking around right now to see if I can find my Xstand. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to show you how cool these Xstands are really quick. This is the Xstand that she has. And so it's amazing. You can like turn your desk into a standing desk really easy, or take it wherever, to the beach, or whatever you want to do. So if you're interested in one, you can contact her. She is absolutely amazing. With that said, I want to introduce our amazing, awesome guest. I'm going to pull her on screen, Miss Tiffany Rivers. So we are actually in the same city. We're both in Atlanta right now, but we haven't seen each other just because of COVID and the pandemic and things. And we were actually talking just before the show. And she was like saying, because I was asking where their offices were, and she's like, do you know this street and this? And I'm like, actually, I really haven't been downtown in a really long time, like done anything fun or exciting. But that's okay. But with that said, I'm going to bring up Tiffany, because Tiffany is so wonderful and she's taking time out of her busy day to join us. So Tiffany Rivers is the social media director for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. She's an innovative, relationship-oriented social media professional with 8 years of social media and digital marketing experience. She currently serves as the social media director for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and the role affords her the opportunity to work with and direct a team of community managers, partner agencies, and contractors across the country to produce creative multi-channel content that raises awareness and drives engagement. Tiffany uses her solid writing skills and strong entrepreneurial drive, attention to detail, and strategic thinking to deliver relevant solutions that help Boys and Girls Clubs fulfill their mission and raise dollars. In her spare time, you may find Tiffany enjoying a good walk, spoiled by golf, hiking, biking, or sunning on the beach, or all three simultaneously. You never know. You can follow her at Tiff Riv on Twitter and connect with her on LinkedIn. With that said, welcome to the show, Tiffany. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited you are here joining us today, because, you know, we talked to you just 3 months after the pandemic and everything started getting really impacted last June, how you guys were pivoting and things. And now we're kind of in the same type of environment, but things are getting better. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think a lot of us feel like we're more than halfway through what this is. to our new normal. I know it might not be completely new to, it's going to be different. It's not going to be back to what it used to be. But yeah, so I'm so excited you're here, Tiffany, and that you can join us. We've got Brian Fanzo in the house. You know Brian Fanzo. Brian
Hey,
Fanzo.
Brian.
And Jen, I love you so much. You're so amazing. So yes, if you guys have questions or anything, let us know. But I kind of want to get right to it, Tiffany, and geek out. So first, I would love for you to just share with everyone how you got to this amazing position of where you are today. What's your background, and other experiences that got you to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, social media is such a young industry and such a young career. And so no one takes the exact same path to this career. But I really started off on more of a programmatic side, working with communities and working with organizations. And I was pegged as the millennial who knew social media and who understood it. So it was like, hey, can you do all of the social media things? And just truly fell in love with it. I love the dynamic nature of being a social media manager. I love the technology aspect of it, the human connection part of it, really being able to make an impact in a way that has never been possible. So, long story short, was kind of the it person when it was time, and I've just taken that and I've been running with it ever since. Boys and Girls Clubs has always been dear to my heart and their mission. And so when the opportunity became available, I was able to marry my passion for social media with my passion for Boys and Girls Clubs and make it happen.
Oh my gosh, Tiffany, I love that so much. And what you do and the lives you change is so amazing and so powerful. I just have to say that because kids' lives are altered in the most phenomenal, amazing, brilliant way. And they're given opportunities through the Boys and Girls Club and what you do, just from people, donating money and everything. I mean, it's amazing, what you see in the outcomes and the stories. It's truly phenomenal. And I would have to say, Tiffany, storytelling is so big in social media. And I will get to this a little bit later on, but I bet, it's really powerful, the stories that you can share, to inspire people and just to get them to donate.
Absolutely. I mean, if anything, each year I'm inspired by the young people that I hear and some of the obstacles that they've overcome, but also some of them who are just being strengthened by the mentors that we have at Boys and Girls Clubs, the staff, Boys and Girls Clubs, just wherever, whatever stage of life you're in or whatever circumstance, you may be facing, there's something that you can get and there's value that can be added to you as a Boys and Girls Club kid. So.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you a few basic questions though. What level of education do you have and how long have you worked in social media in kind of like the role of, social media manager or strategist?
So I have a master's degree. I don't have a master's in the traditional marketing or PR side of things. Actually have a master's in social work, which is crazy. But now I kind of laugh because I am a social media professional. So I call myself a social worker in a different sense. So I have my master's degree. And I've worked, I might be aging myself and I've worked in this industry now for about 10 years. So I've got some experience under my belt.
You're not aging yourself at all, Tiffany. Like I think I'm older than you are, just so
Yeah.
you know. Like I'm approaching a certain milestone age. So we're getting close to it. But anyway, I have to show this though, because Brian just loves you. You're a rock star.
Yeah.
And Jen Cole says mentors are huge. They really are. It's amazing. Since now I have a daughter that's 3, I realize having good teachers is so powerful because they really impact their lives, like,
Mhm.
everything that they do. And so also Jen Cole said, "Oh, that's so cool. I started off my career in social work." So
Yeah.
that's
Right on,
awesome.
Jen. Right on, Jen.
Yeah, I
Um,
love it.
January is National Mentoring Month. So today is actually Thank Your Mentor Day. So if you have someone who's impacted your life, send them a note and tell them thank you. And, we celebrate those individuals each and every day at Boys and Girls Clubs.
Oh my God, I love that. I did not know that. So that's a good point for everyone to thank their mentor. With that said, Tiffany, so there are a lot of different chapters, it just within America itself. So, how many social profiles do you manage?
So that's a good question. We I'm only actually managing 5 or 6 right now, at the national office. We work with 4,600 clubs across the country, and we work under a federated model. So each club has their own board members, their own CEOs, and sometimes they have marketing staff or resource development staff that help. What we try to do at the national office is really arm them with the tools and the templates and the support and resources so that they can execute their social strategies on their individual channels. So there are times when I really act as a consultant or a resource, an educator for some of those local organizations. Sometimes, I'm actually helping them problem solve and troubleshoot. So it really depends on any given day where I'm plugging in. But on an average day, managing 5 to 6.
That's awesome though, but still, you manage the national ones, but then overarching, but you're still involved in helping all the teams produce the content that they need on the micro level,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
granular level, which
It's
is
and it's a two-way street, right? So they're sharing with us their ideas, they're sharing with us the stories that are going on locally, and we are helping them when it comes to turning around content or crafting those stories or getting it in the right spaces. So it's really a relationship both ways where we both support each other, and that's one of the things that I love the most. And I feel like it works so much better when you're collaborative, and it's not necessarily like one side telling the other exactly what to do all the time.
I love that. Oh, that's so awesome. And I feel like that's how it should always be. And if your environment where you work is not like that, try and change it because it should be fun and collaborative and everything. I love brainstorming and having someone to bounce ideas off of, even if they're the most bogus ideas. I really, really love that.
And we need each other because, it's
Yeah.
really hard to be in 50 places at once or, be in different locations. So we really lean on each other when it comes to sourcing those different stories and opportunities.
I love that. I love that you guys have such an amazing environment that you work together with. Like it's so wonderful and it's how it should be. Now with that said, I have to know, and this is a question for everyone watching as well. I want to know, and Natish said brainstorming helps. This is true.
Yeah.
It definitely does. So what social media platform do you use the most personally? Which one do you love, Tiffany?
I'm an Instagram lover through and through.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just easier to navigate for me. I can get little nuggets really quickly. I love the artistic expression of the platform. Um, love stories. I, probably post on stories more than I do on the feed itself. So Instagram is my favorite.
I love it. I love it. And so coming from everyone else in the audience, Jen loves Instagram. Me too. I feel like it's the best of everything, all the different social platforms. Natish says LinkedIn and Instagram as well. So yeah,
Okay,
I
yes,
feel like
I like LinkedIn is up there. It's like probably second. I never would have thought I would have said that maybe like 5 years ago, but I spend quite a bit of time on there and I find it very valuable.
yeah, I agree too. And I feel like even Brian would talk to this. He gets majority of his business on LinkedIn from
Mhm.
LinkedIn. He focuses so much on it and encourages others to do so because it's not just a platform where you're looking for a job. People consume information on there,
Mhm.
especially with lives and stories and everything else. So I love that.
Yeah.
And Tiffany, this is like a fun question that we're starting to ask people. And what's the biggest thing that you like about being a social media manager or director? And what's the biggest thing you dislike?
They might be the same thing. Um, there's never a dull day. There is always something moving, changing. There's new exciting content to share or engage with. And even, eh, worldwide, there's always something happening. Um, um, you know what? The thing I don't like, and it's been just recently that I felt this way. For some reason, it's gotten a little bit more negative over the past 2 years.
Mhm.
Just the environment seems super contentious and um, it levels of humanity have been lost for some reason in some of the conversations. So that I don't enjoy. I'm like, why are we angry? Why did a post about a kid bring out the worst in you?
Yeah, I have to 100% agree with that. I feel like public shaming has gone to a whole new level of where people it's okay to speak your opinion, but they do it in a way where they're shaming anyone else who doesn't think like them, right? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
it,
I don't like that.
yeah, I feel the same way. We've got Jacob in the house. He's like, ATL. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jacob, you
Yeah.
need to come down here. Jacob is in Kansas City, I believe. So
Come
yeah.
on down. Come see us when it's
Yes.
safe.
Yeah. Yes. When it's safe to do so, bring some snow with you as well. I want
Yeah.
snow,
Oh,
Tiffany.
you
I
want
still
some
want
snow?
snow.
We haven't gotten snow yet this
I
year.
know. Oh my God. Remember in 2017, we got like practically a foot in some places.
Yeah, and
So
I think there was an anniversary of our ice snowmageddon type situation we had when everyone was stuck. So
oh my God. Oh my God. I think that was like 2013. That was crazy.
mhm.
That was just before I moved here. Michael said hi. Hey, Michael, what's going on?
Hey,
Share with us
Michael.
your favorite social media platform.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that and we want to know. And I want to know from you, Tiffany, when it comes to your job and what you do, what do people under you and then you on the national level with those accounts? What's the hardest social channel to get engagement on?
Woo. Well, unfortunately, Facebook has been tough over the years, organically, right? So over time, we know that it's definitely become a pay to play space. And, we're thinking, hey, we have these 235,000 followers who are following us on Facebook. Why are we struggling to get that engagement? And so that's, you know, a hard reality to face, but we've been pivoting and finding ways around it and adapting our strategy because of it.
I would have to agree. Facebook is one of the hardest to find engagement. It's really difficult, and with the new changes that are coming to pages where we can actually like engage as a page,
Mhm,
and they'll have their own news feed. I'm
mhm,
interested to see if that improves the engagement because I feel like every business, every company is struggling with that so much
mhm.
right now. So yeah, I think that's a big thing. Jacob loves Reddit, by the way.
Okay.
Reddit is great, and people don't realize the power of Reddit when it becomes to like a serious focus of something. Brian always gives the example, which I love. If you're into underwater weaving in your socks, there is a Reddit group for that.
Yeah.
You will find that. So I totally love that. Nitish says, he says, hi, CEO. I actually made my last organization, Calberetta, to use Agorapulse. Love the amazing UX UI. Nitish, thank you so much. And what else did you say? Facebook needs money to push content. It's more of advertising platform now. Very, very true. Well said. They use a lot of third-party data for targeting, in targeting, like he said, which is very true. And Jacob said, organic is tough. Good content that represents your brand messaging and consistency, both of those are challenging. So true.
Yeah.
And yeah, our very own Scott Ayers, our content scientist, dude, I dove into them for ads. It's interesting. Yeah, he did a lot of research on Reddit ads, it's very intriguing. So you'll have to go over.
We'll have to learn a little bit more. We did a test with Reddit, and it was in partnership with WebMD earlier in the spring, and they had kind of like ask a question or ask, different medical questions. So we tested it out, but we didn't dive in too deep because of more of like a bandwidth thing, but definitely curious to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott, if you can grab the link to the post about Reddit or any Reddit posts and can share them in the comments, that would be amazing. I would love that. Now, Tiffany, big question for you and for any social media manager out there. What is the most important skill set any social media manager needs to have?
Such a tough question. The first answer that comes to mind for me is empathy. It is really important to understand your audience and understand who you're speaking to, why you're doing what you're doing, and marry that with whatever content you're publishing or engaging or answering questions or concerns about. So I think empathy is the most important skill. And then I'd say, right, like communication skills are next, whether that's writing or even like these lives and whatever form of communication you're using, just really being able to communicate and tell those stories is super important.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we've got Deb Mitchell and also Scott. They're both sharing different links to the different Reddit ads and everything, Reddit ads versus Twitter ads, all sorts of great information there. So anyone, if you have not subscribed to the Social Media Lab Live podcast or watched the show on Wednesdays at 1:00 Eastern, definitely do that. And Jen Cole says, gosh, yes, empathy is so important. And I think I agree. It has to be the biggest thing. And I think so many social media managers would have been like, you got to be innovative because you have to be a graphics designer. You have to be great at post copy. You have to basically do it all. But empathy, I love that you said that because I think it's, something that people wouldn't have come directly to their mind. Jacob said, yes, empathy. You've also got to have a big head because you're going to be wearing about 6 hats.
Jacob, I know that was one of my, like in my mind, I thought multitasking, but like, I don't want to scare anybody, but you're most of the time going to be doing at least 6 things, if not 10, simultaneously. You don't even want to see what my screen looks like, my desktop. It's always a little crazy.
Yeah. No, and that's how I am. My tabs have given my boss a heart attack. I don't want to scare anyone now, over 50 tabs open. But anyway, we will we won't talk about that. So I have a really big question. So what is the biggest mistake you've ever made in social media management or as a social media manager, and how did you fix it?
This is a hard question for me because it is such a fast moving industry. It is such a fast moving platform, like across all platforms. So the first thing that came to mind was like probably making a typo and just feeling frustrated about that. I hate to do that. But I will say it earlier in my career, it was just not taking the time to personally unplug. Um, your brain can just like literally like I will wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I gotta tweet. I'm supposed to be doing something. So for me, it's been just making sure I'm taking care of myself. So I think for me, that was like a mistake earlier is not valuing the importance of taking care of myself digitally and like taking those times to unplug because your brain is just going, you're taking in so much information, so much input. That's what I would say.
And I think that's so true. And I think that's something that people struggle with. I know typos, like I like literally reread over. I'm like, am I using the right your? I'm like, you are. I'm like I literally like say it out loud. And one of the things I did at a prior job was we had a big live show. And usually it's just me managing the audio levels and everything. So I didn't double check the sound because everything was so rushed and everything. And so we did a live, and I mean, he was big named meteorologist.
Yeah.
And the audio wasn't there, and we were supposed to record it as a whole thing in the beginning. And it was just like, I was like sweating bullets. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So I mean, and crap happens, especially if you're doing live, because you can go live on every platform. Basically, so you kind of have to be able to just be like, you know what, crap happens,
exactly,
and just move on and not let it impact you personally, right? You just have to move forward.
You can get under your skin and something you're thinking about days at a time. And we've had a live feed crash at a really big event. It was terrible, but when you think back on that and you look back on it, you're like, crap happens and here we are. So we're moving on. I see a couple of comments about some of their biggest mistakes. Those are really interesting.
Yeah, they so are. So I have to say, Scott Ayers said, most social media managers really do about 12,000 jobs. This is true, Scott. You know this. This is true. I love Jacob. Jacob's like, oh, you know how to use a computer? Here's everything digital, website design, everything that you need to do. And then we've got Jen Cole that said, oh gosh, Amanda Lowell and I have done a whole live without audio before. It happens. It does. It really does. And that's what I've learned. Even we did some lives walking through the building where we were downtown, and where we were standing before the live started had great internet signal, but then we started walking and we dropped, and it was just like, no. And then I learned a very important lesson. If you're going to walk during a live, you walk the path beforehand, and if you don't have at least 3 bars, you can't go live there. Like that's a big, and if you're not learning, then you're not challenging yourself.
I learned a lot of that. Like, we've got speed tests now, and whenever we were going out to different clubhouses and doing lives, and I'm testing everything. So I'm like tech support / producer / personality. Yeah, lots of stuff.
Yeah, totally. And so, you know what? And I think the biggest thing I've learned is people get it. People understand. I remember when, I love this. Jacob said this perfectly. We are all humans. We make mistakes. Empathy, empathy. And I love that, Jacob, because I remember back in the day when I did like local TV weather, our computers crashed. We didn't have a strong weather system, like computer wise. So the graphics completely froze when I was supposed to be giving the weather forecast. And so, our person in my ear, they're like, Jen, just slowly walk off the green screen, keep giving the forecast, and try and fix the computer. I'm like, probably the best thing to do would be like, hey guys, don't you hate it when you have computer problems? I'm having one right now. So I'm going to go off screen, try and fix it, rather than hiding, because people know something's wrong anyway if it's frozen, So I feel like people will empathize with you more, and you become more relatable. When something happens, people are like, oh man, that happened to me last week. I totally get it. And you get the support that you need. And Jen Cole said, live streaming with thousands of people in one place is hard to hard to do. Julie and I used to live stream for a large festival and ran into that problem often, which I totally agree.
Yeah.
Now, Tiffany, when it comes to strategy, I'm going to totally pivot the conversation. Scott said, "You never make mistakes. Stop lying." No, yeah. Everyone does. Otherwise, we're not learning.
Yeah.
So pivoting to quantity or quality versus quantity, right? I think people feel this expectation. I have to make a post today, right? I have to check that box. I have to do this. What is your strategy, and what do you tell people that manage the local channels when it comes to frequency of posting? Is it all about, are you trying to do, it is important to do, it depends on the platform, really, content every single day, but it's more important, as you know,
Yeah, I
Tiffany.
mean, daily, sure, but when it comes to multiple times a day, like unless we have a reason or unless we have that pipeline, we're not going to force anything. We're not going to come up with anything that's superficial or just not meaningful to our audiences. So I don't tell BGCA that necessarily. For other individuals who are diving into the industry and building their platforms and maybe building their brand, I do recommend like a lot more frequency.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it depends on, like you said, Tiffany, your goals, right? Like what you post, the content and the quantity should match up to your goals, your monthly goals, your quarterly goals.
Yeah.
And with that said, Tiffany, what are like the key, like the top 1 or 2 or 3 metrics that you focus on, that you're measured against, that your executives are like, Tiffany, we need to get this?
Sure. So we're looking at engagements overall. We're looking at view throughs and videos. And then we're looking at dollars raised from each of our platforms. I mean, we are a nonprofit. We do count on the support of individuals and corporate partners and foundations. And so we have to tie our social media objectives back to the overall organizational goals. And that can mean generating revenue or attracting new donors, getting those donations. So those are the 3 things.
Yeah. And same with Agora Pulse here, right? Because, engagement is so key. We're trying to grow the right community. But at the same time, we're also trying to drive people to try our tool, right? And conversion. So it's kind of a combination of the two, because, our executives will be like, yay, Jen, engagement, but what did that do for this? So
Right.
it's like,
Right.
it's an even kind of playing field. You got to try and make it all work. And I love this comment really quick from Jen Cole. She said, I keep telling Tim that we need to have a live show for the X stand, but we haven't nailed down the goal or regular topic, which I get that's, and I love that you brought that up, Jen, because people will feel like I have to have a live show. I have to do this. But,
Yeah.
there's no point in having a live show if you really don't fully understand, okay, but what are we trying to do? All that energy and effort, what are we going to get out of it? So Jen, I love that. And I think an X-Stand show, because I have mine right here, would be amazing. We'll have to brainstorm, Jen, offline. We'll definitely have to do that. So yeah, and so I'm glad that you mentioned that. And if anybody else has a question when it comes to nonprofit and growth and everything, let us know, because our time with Tiffany is kind of running down.
Yeah.
With that said, yeah, and I have to ask you, Tiffany, if you can, what is your most profitable social channel?
Facebook, even though we just talked about Facebook being so difficult, it is our most profitable channel socially. I mean, we do generate revenue from search and Google, but on the social media platform side, Facebook is next. So it's kind of that love-hate relationship. Like you can't live with them, you can't live without them.
It's powerful, and that's true. I feel like everyone struggles with that every single day. They're like, "Darn it, Facebook, but I can't
Yeah,
not write it off and
yeah,
not use it."
yeah.
And I would love to know, Tiffany, the last 6 months, because we talked to you in June last year, but the second half of the year, what were some new things that you tried maybe in your social strategy that you found success in, or maybe across the entire year? Because I know it was an interesting year for everyone. We tried different things. Everyone had to pivot. But is there like one thing that you tried and you're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that to be successful, or that you're still trying and you're like, yep, this needs to be a daily thing because it's driving people to our site more,
Yeah.
or and we're finding this.
There's two things that stand out. I mean, for us, we hadn't leaned into social influencers in the way that you might think. We have a large um, body of influencers who are like celebrities who have gone to clubs. They're alumni. They have great stories to tell. But on the social side, like that was new for us, and so that was something we really dug in deep with. And we found a lot of success there and a lot of people who were willing to support us, not just because they might have gone to a club, but they really believed in our mission and supporting what we do and advocating for us with their different audiences. And then as much as I don't want to say it, we did a test and a pilot with TikTok at the end of the year. And we really saw strong engagement there. So I'm like hopeful about our presence on TikTok, and it was something we tried um, in conjunction with them, but it was successful, and I hope to build on those successes for this year.
Awesome. So are you, and I didn't have a chance actually to look before the show, are you creating daily TikToks?
Not yet, not yet. We've just put a few things out there. But what we're hoping is yes, the kids and our teens will be our creators and really lead the charge because that is, where they live and breathe. And we want to really give their voices an opportunity to shine through. So not yet daily videos, but hoping to put together something soon.
I want some Tiffany worked in there too as well. I want, Tiffany to be doing a couple
Oh
dances.
yeah, I
Yeah.
tried my first TikTok last spring with my sister. It took us about an hour
Oh,
um,
mhm. Yep.
to marry our dance moves and the music. So yes, I've definitely dipped my toe in.
Yeah, I've dipped my toes into. I've produced maybe like 6 if
Oh,
you look for
cool,
me.
cool.
But yeah, but no, like you, it takes like me, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm doing these dances and I'm trying to do these moves and I'm in the mirror and I'm like, am I
Yeah.
doing it right? But
Mhm.
then people are using it in different ways too for marketing, which is so cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I love that. So you guys keep an eye out on TikTok for Boys and Girls Club of
Yes,
America.
please.
And quick shout out to Jacob who said, no question, but just love what you do at BNGC of America. Keep up the amazing work. So
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Thank you,
And
Jane.
Scott said, yes, I have family and friends that work for them locally. So that's
Awesome.
awesome, Scott. So you guys, if you have questions, this has been like, Tiffany, I love this. I feel like we're learning so much just about what you do and like nonprofit and everything. It's fantastic. If you guys have questions, let us know. And I do have to ask you about live video and live shows. So, how do you utilize live video? Do you have regular live shows locally? What is the overall strategy when it comes to that?
So yeah, I mean, last year was a little bit different. It changed a lot of the ways that we've done things, but we were able to produce one or two lives like externally. We started to turn to a lot more live broadcast internally, and there would be sometimes closed sessions that would sometimes be opened up to the public. So whether we were talking with team members from the NFL or one of our friends, Kane Brown, who's a country singer, or having town hall discussions with different organizations like we really leveraged live in a different way for our movement and for the local organizations. Um, we did a 4-hour live when we first started the pandemic, and it was really interesting because everyone was in different places. So we had this group chat going, and we were on the phone, and we were trying to make it all work. So we'll probably revisit that this year. But typically we do lives for our Alumni Hall of Fame, where we induct different members of the industry, you know, who have been alumni from Boys and Girls Clubs. We usually do a live for that. And then we usually do a live for our Youth of the Year, which is our premier youth development program. And we name like the young person who's going to be an ambassador for Boys and Girls Clubs through that program.
I love that. And isn't J-Lo an alumni?
Yeah, she is. J-Lo, if you're listening.
I know. We need to have her. We need to make that happen next time, Tiffany. We interview you. Yeah. We need to ping J-Lo and be like,
in the middle. Like, come on.
Yes. Oh my God. We need to do that and like document our journey of how we got a big influencer, because I think we could maybe make it happen between you and I, Tiffany. Right. We could do it. We could do TikTok dances and be like, J-Lo.
Mm-hmm. We're getting close. Alex Rodriguez is a alumni as well. So.
Oh my God, I had no idea. Oh, that's so amazing. Wow. I love that. So yeah, we can make that work. We can make that happen, Tiffany. Okay. I feel like they can come to Atlanta.
I'm here for it.
I'll work on a plan. We'll make it happen. So I love Jen Cole. Jen's like, do it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know, right? We're going to make it happen. So Tiffany, one last question before we get to fun trivia, and it's based on the Boys and Girls Club of America. Mm-hmm. What is the best advice that you never took? I love this question. I'll give you a hot second to think about it. My biggest thing is I wish I had done more internships when I was in college, because I think realizing in college, like you can ask questions in college, like that's your time to have internships, get that real world experience. Because once you're out there, you're supposed to be that expert, right? Like people know like entry level, maybe you're still learning, but it's your opportunity to get out there and get that real world experience. So
you know, I studied abroad when I was in grad school, and I studied abroad for a summer, but I would have stayed longer if I could have. And I would give that advice and take that advice from people who said like, live somewhere else on the globe. Just having like a global mindset really changes your way of looking at things and the perspective that you bring to the table. Even especially with social, I mean, for some reason we get a lot of international attention around Boys and Girls Clubs, and people just want Boys and Girls Clubs in their countries. So I would say, you know, get a global perspective if you're able. Travel to another country. I know COVID is crazy right now, but when the world opens up, get that opportunity and live abroad.
I think that's great advice. I backpacked, loosely saying backpacked, through Europe. I stayed in hostels for about 2 weeks before I started graduate school. And it was amazing. Like just being able to travel in general is so wonderful because it gives you that perspective. I do wish I had studied abroad though, and actually been able to be in one place for at least a month or so to just soak in that culture and realize that how we do things in America or wherever country you're at is not necessarily how they do it other places, but it just allows you to be more open-minded to, you know, people and understanding, okay, they do this here, but, you know, we do it differently where I'm from. So I love that so much. I think that's awesome and amazing advice.
Yeah, I would do it if I could.
Yeah, and actually the thing is, I work remote all the time anyway, so I should just move somewhere to
You can
come visit me, Tiffany, wherever I'm at. You can.
I will. I will.
Yeah, wherever I decide to go. With that said, guys, so I can't believe we're getting close to the top of the hour. And Tiffany, I didn't even ask you what your time limit was, but I want to get to trivia, guys. So it's trivia time, and we are giving away an Agora Pulse mug or shirt, your choice. You have to answer both of these questions correctly, and if there's a tiebreaker, we will figure that out. We're not going to give away the answers right now because we allow at least 24 hours for people to watch the replay to be able to answer. When you do answer, though, answer the question 1-A, B, C, or D, and 2-A, B, C, or D, so we know what question that you are answering. But with that said, it's about Boys and Girls Clubs, so let's do it. This is the first question, guys, all right? When do the Boys and Girls Clubs of America start? Do not Google. We're going to be, Tiffany and I can actually see into where you are right now. And so we will see your tabs and we will see you. So do not Google. But when did the Boys and Girls Clubs of America start? Is it A, 1860, B, 1890, C, 1910, or D, 1930? So it's been nearly 100 years at least since they've been around. And a really quick shout out, Vivica says it's great what BGCA is doing. That is influencing the next generation in the current one. Vivica, I couldn't agree more. Definitely couldn't agree more. So you guys, let us know in the comments if you're going to answer this. We'll give away an Agora Pulse mug and t-shirt, your choice. Let us know. When did the Boys and Girls Club of America start? Is it A, B, C, or D? Vivica said B. Jen Cole says B as well. Those are great answers. Absolutely great answers. You guys keep the guesses coming. We're going to move to the second one right now. So the second one is, how many Boys and Girls Clubs of America chapters are there currently? Are there 1,500? This is just in the US, in America, guys. How many local chapters are there? Are there A, 1,500, B, 2,200, C, 3,400, or D, 4,600? Think about that. Now, all of these numbers are huge, and they make big impacts in the communities where they're at. But let us know, how many local chapters are there? Jen Cole is like, ooh, I don't know. I know this is a tough one. So how many Boys and Girls Clubs of America chapters are there? Is there A, 1,500, B, 2,200, C, 34, D, 46? Jen, I like your answer for number 2. I like it. It's good. It's good. Keep them coming, guys. Just throw that out. There are correct answers, but just have fun with it. Make a guess. And even if you do a second guess, and we'll take whatever one is right, guys. We'll take whatever one is right. So awesome, guys. So we've got some good answers, and we'll keep this up for 24 hours and let whoever is, whoever the winner is, we'll let them know in at least the next 48 hours. But with that said, I'm going to pull Tiffany and I back up on screen because Tiffany, I just have to say thank you so much for being here, dropping your knowledge and sharing so much information with us because, we always wonder, what it's like to work for a nonprofit. We know resources, may not have everything that you would have, at another company. Though I know when it comes to social media, I feel like everyone's like, you're just doing what I do at home every night. So,
right.
And you're
so easy.
Yeah, everyone says that, and people just don't know, like learning all the intricate features within one social platform is a lot, and maximizing the benefit of it. So Tiffany, I just have to say thank you so much. You're so wonderful. You're so amazing. And give a quick shout out to Jen Cole, our amazing show sponsor. Jen, you're so awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And really quick, if you have not done so, you need to register for our Social Pulse Summit Instagram edition. Now, this is free. All of our summits are free. It's a new platform we're trying. We're going to have live keynotes, 30 plus breakout sessions, over 5,000 attendees, and it's all virtual. This is not in person. It's free though, guys. So take advantage of this. We want to help you, give you the resources so that you can take your Instagram strategy to the next level. In the fall, we did Twitter, and in the summer, we did LinkedIn. So now we're doing Instagram, and both Tiffany and I, our favorite channels personally are Instagram, and a lot of people utilize it. There's a lot of unique things within it, and We have so many sessions that hone in on the specifics of Instagram and all the different features. So make sure to register. Go to summit.agorapulse.com. It's going to be brilliant, amazing, and exciting. With that said, I hope all of you have an incredible day, rest of your day, an amazing weekend. And Jen Cole says Agora Pulse Summits are amazing. You're amazing, Jen. You're amazing. So thank you so much. Tiffany, you're absolutely wonderful as well. And make it a great day, weekend next week. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great one, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.